It's almost the 5th anniversary of the death of Michael Hutchence, and this film now in full gets in on the INXS scene, from their first gig in '77 to the very latest goings-on.
People don't mind if you kill yourself. They're quite happy about that. Lead story, yeah. Yeah, well, I hope I don't become a lead story.
The body of an Australian citizen was discovered in the hotel on the 5th floor.
The music world is in shock tonight over the apparent suicide of Michael Hutchence, lead singer of the top Australian band INXS.
The body found hanging in a Sydney hotel room is that of rock star Michael Hutchence.
Another rock star has died young. Michael Hutchence, lead singer of INXS, is dead at the age of 37.
London is just waking up to this tragic news.
Hutchence was in Australia preparing for the INXS 20th anniversary nationwide tour.
The band members of INXS are all in extreme shock at the loss of their dear friend.
Michael Hutchence was mourned by the family who loved him and the fans who still can't believe he's gone.
Michael was one of the greatest singers and stage performers of his generation.
He was the greatest talent in the world. We've lost him.
Hutchence was always seen as the focus of the band, and the band's future is uncertain.
Never tear us apart.
So we'll say it together, eh?
Yeah.
Hi, we're in excess.
Never works.
No, we'll never get out of here.
Just give it a go. It doesn't matter if it sounds.
It's a hiring system, you continue. It's
hi, we're in excess. Is that the word?
Yes.
The first show we played, August 16th, 1977, was actually at a party on the northern beaches in Sydney. That same night was the night Elvis died.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you.
It's always been about a band, about a gang, about a group.
We all love each other so much.
We're a gang, basically we're a gang of Australians that came from the same neighbourhood and the same family.
My favourite thing in life is playing bass with INXS.
Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart.
Because of the nature of us, because we're not one formula, we've had to really tour a lot, and it takes a lot longer for people to understand us and know the faces, and 6 of us for a start. So I think that, the time has been worth it, because people know we're real. We're not just here to make hit singles and go back to the beach in Sydney.
Michael was always a I want to be part of the band kind of guy. He never wanted to be separated from us.
I'll never forget, we had the cover of the Rolling Stone. Basically, Michael fought adamantly that, we didn't do the cover unless the whole band was on the front cover. And they only wanted Michael. In the end, they dropped the cover story because Michael especially fought so adamantly that he wanted the band.
He was very accurate with gauging people's feelings. He was always aware of how people felt about things, and I think it's a great human attribute that he had as a person.
I was standing, you were there.
The day that I heard that Michael died, I just went, that's it.
There's still a large part of me that can't believe he took his own life. And perhaps it's just denial, but there's a part of me, I think, that refuses to believe it.
I remember the day when we were at the rehearsal studio being told, that Michael was dead. I I remember my first reaction was just tremendous loss, not why. And I still feel that, and I will always feel that.
Niggas in the corner with the black coat on, running from a bad home with some cat inside. Where did you find her?
For me, selfishly, that's one of the hardest things that I've got to come to grips with, is that we're not going to be the five of us on stage behind Michael.
They haunt the streets outside, she says, stay with me, beautiful girl, stay with me, beautiful girl, stay with me.
I just miss him. Sometimes I wish he was there, but maybe in spirit he is there.
What do you want you to do? Well, I think he'd want us to probably take a big long break.
We were planning to have some sort of sabbatical and time off anyway. I guess that sabbatical got extended when Michael died, and it took us a long time to sort of figure out what to do and if we wanted to do it again. I was sitting backstage with Angus Young from AC/DC. I said to him, how long would it take you to get over the loss of Bon Scott and figure out to get a new singer like Brian Johnson and get on with your lives? And he goes, about 3 weeks, mate. I was like, right, okay. It took us like 5 years, so go figure.
Hutchence was always seen as the focus of the band, and the band's future is uncertain.
One of the things that was kind of a bummer in a way with, there's a lot of things, but with Michael's death, it sort of suddenly pulled the whole thing to a halt, but not in our control.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's this fairly sort of sickening, lurching feeling you get when you watch the world debating something, when it's completely out of your own control.
Every single one of us, the devil inside, devil inside, devil inside. Every single one of us, the devil inside.
We started to develop this energy to want to play again, and it was just natural. But we're gifted and we're born to do this, and let's do it. How are we going to do it?
A woman with a look in her eye, she's dressed on leather, flesh.
Not only was Michael a big star, and he was the chrome bumper bar, if you like, of what INXS was about. If someone said, what do you think of INXS? I said, well, Michael Hutchence.
We like video. We deal with it, We're not scared of it. We're not told what to do.
Our timing had almost sort of biblical proportions as far as when INXS turned up in North America, being 1983, the beginning of MTV. Because being Australian, by virtue of the distance geographically from us, from the rest of the world, the Northern Hemisphere, it was necessary to make video and film format to actually exist.
There's probably a couple of videos where you cringe.
Look back and see some photographs and some videos, and oh my God. Have to have an open mind about our past, because we've come from the 80s where there was some serious sort of fashion issues.
Video is now our tools. They're guitars and keyboards and drums to us. The camera has become that for most bands.
Hey, it's story. Get about the troubles in life. Don't you know it's not easy when you gotta walk on that line.
Some of the videos are fantastic. I mean, a lot of them were groundbreaking. We won awards for them, you know.
You need, that's why. This is what you need, this is what you need.
The actual look of that video for its time was quite groundbreaking because we were sequencing things that weren't normally sequenced.
What you need, this is what you need, give me what you need.
I think that and the fact that we were using animation very early on the piece, you know, getting people to hand colour, you know, frozen stills and working with some very clever people.
Actually, I think Mick Jagger called up Michael and asked him how we put that together because he didn't understand where the technology had come from at the time.
All you got is this moment. 21st century is yesterday.
We've been making videos way before, you know, for more than, it must be 12, 13 years.
But as a band,
As a band, years.
Sure, but Australia's had video shows since the 60s.
You know, it's the only way we could see acts from overseas because no one ever came to Australia. So it's quite normal.
I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. Live, baby, yeah. Now that the day is over.
We were like painting each sort of frame. We were filming it really slow on 35mm cameras so that each exposure was about 6 seconds or something. There was like people dressed in black, you know, hoods and everything like that, just holding a little mag light with a piece of cellophane over it, outlining the body and that sort of thing.
We're just a bunch of dags from Australia. Didn't want to be kings of fashion.
The thing that always gets me is just the hair.
In a way, I think we were kind of regarded as being, you know, a fashionable band. And yeah, there were some times, you know, I think we kind of like went too far.
Thank God that's changed.
You taste it.
We all had to reevaluate what we were, you know, without Michael. And so therefore the conscious decision to move forward is not that easy.
We did what we felt was the right thing, which was just to take our time and to stop, take a deep breath and get centered and figure it out.
I think it was important, really, that we played our music first, in a sense, and sort of, you know, without Michael, to see if we could still do that. I remember distinctly it was quite an emotional process to have to go through. You're going to have your highs and you're going to have your lows. But when you pick yourself up again and you decide you know what you want to do with yourself again, it just makes you more focused about your own goals.
We've really taken it all one step at a time.
Yeah.
You know, just bit by bit.
The record that's about to come out, it's kind of like closing a chapter for us, and it's something we need to do. There's quite a lot of unreleased material with Michael singing that's very, very important to me especially, and to the whole band.
It was something we talked about a fair bit. We weren't sure if we should be releasing material that has Michael's voice on it, because it's not only a timing issue of when it's right, when is that the right time to do that, but it's also also emotional. It's obviously a great idea to put together our hits, well, in a way that people can see our career unfolding and hear it and relate to us as that 25-year experience that we've been, but also to add a couple of songs which people haven't heard.
Make sure you eat all your vegetables now.
No, I'm eating my broccoli.
Don't waste this either.
Tight's great, because Tight's been like worked and reworked, and Michael was, you know, really into, you know.
Here it is.
That's very nice.
That's a good one. It's made in Shanghai.
Andrew wrote the lyrics and the music for it, and we toyed around with it.
It was like giving birth 3 times. We went through 3 different reinventions, that song.
We figured, let's just work with Michael's stuff, you know, and what we've got.
Finally nailed it.
I think it's going to be great. Both songs, I think, stand up to the test of time really, really well. We're lucky enough to have a bunch of songs we sort of kept in reserve, you know, and to be able to use now because Michael's no longer with us. I suppose one of these things that, you know, we save material for when it's appropriate, and now it's appropriate.
One really strong point of INXS is the songs, always has been.
Disappeared, for example, I wrote that with Michael in Hong Kong, you know. One of the rooms we had a studio set up, and Mike would come in while I'm writing a song and kind of peek his head in and sort of go doo-doo-doo-doo or whatever and walk away, and I keep finishing it. And he'd come in and write, we'd actually be lying down writing lyrics while I'm playing.
And he gets half the credit.
And then he goes doo-doo-doo.
Disappear's always been one of those songs that everyone sings along to. It's an interesting time actually, that whole, you know, kick time when the 4 singles that we released off the album consecutively went 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the whole time we were battling Michael Jackson, you know, through that whole period, and it was like just...
And he was bad.
You know.
I will believe you if you say it's true. Girl, you know I need you.
I'm happy that all the songs that are on this compilation, they're good songs. This new release kind of closes that chapter of our lives and helps us to be able to move on. This is something that we want to put together as a celebration of our past and bridge the new INXS with the old INXS and marry them together, and this is a celebration of that union. Sort of can see a sort of like that perspective of our lives, you know, and from that point of view it helps us move on with our fans as well, and helps our fans move on. I have a lot of personal memories for most of those hits because I was fortunate enough to be able to be involved in the writing of you know, most of them, and with Michael, and I have a lot of personal memories. I have a lot of good memories about most of that stuff.
Things we cannot fight, but you know that we are always wasting time.
So proud. I've always been very proud of INXS, the members of INXS, what we've been through, and the music.
And that's closing that chapter, or closing that entire book. This is just a great way to sign off with Michael.
veils are misty, streets are blue. I'm in blood.
No one conquers the world conquers you. And as soon as you embrace that concept, it all gets very simple. And I'm discovering as I'm going along where INXS fits into the world now.
The same way we achieved what we did was through perseverance and just giving our nose to the grindstone.
Up there in Bastante, streets are blue.
We grew up with Michael. He wasn't like someone we just hired or something. We grew up together since we were kids. And for a while it's been hard to get over the, like, you know, gee, I wish Michael was here.
No one will ever fill Michael's shoes. No one's going to, and no one is invited to.
Doesn't matter whether John's not Michael or whatever, because that's a moot point, really. The fact is that he's a star in his own right.
That's why John Stevens is the perfect answer for us in a sense, because we've known him a long time as well, and we have a strong history with him. And he's like a mate, you know, he's a good friend, and we need that as opposed to somebody we don't really know.
And it's not like John's replacing Michael. He's the 7th member of this band, you know. John is officially a member of our band.
We've always felt, rather than kind of like a band, we're like a gang of guys that, you know, battles whatever it is we've got to overcome and do what we've got to do. And John Stevens is the perfect gang member.
Can I introduce John?
Yes, there you go.
John Stevens.
John Stevens, ladies and gentlemen.
It's great to be back, a real good.
We are the last two left on earth. Yet I was lost for words in your arms.
Exciting and sort of foreboding at the same time, because we don't know what to expect.
If I could just be everything, everyone to you.
One of the most exciting things that I've experienced is that when we walk on stage, there is this mild anticipation from everyone, how we're going to feel about everything.
When we walk out on stage, there's a lot of folded arms in the audience.
It's sort of like, who is this guy?
How dare you guys go out there without Michael?
But the really nice thing about that is about 3 songs into the set, boom, they're on, you know, they're into it, and it's, you know, they go, yes, it is the band, they are back.
So it wasn't too bad tonight, you know. Like, hi, John. You were unreal, mate. You were unreal tonight.
Well, I guess it kind of started about 2 years ago when I received a call from the guys just saying that they wanted to do a full INXS show. I said, when? I said, oh, in a week and a half. I said, oh, right. How many songs? 23. Okay. What about rehearsals? We'll rehearse the day before the show. I said, sound like my kind of guys. That first gig was very cathartic for everybody, very emotional. The surprising thing to me was that they actually wanted to continue playing together. My perception of my role was just, you know, one to help the healing process. He helped pull us through a tough time where it was hard for us to, like, sort of get back together and sort of retaliate in a sense, you know, and I'll never forget that.
Got to let you know,
It must be really tough for John, and I wouldn't want that job to, like, have to step into that special place in the middle of the stage where Michael used to stand.
secret ritual.
Ranga Rosie. I was in the bit of Figgy.
You know, it's a long, long history, and it's a lot of miles that they've done, and you know, who said they should stop.
It's not a rehearsal, it's actually happening. So that feels good. We're beginning to talk to fans and talk to people who don't know our music and talk to a whole younger generation of people. This is a new sensation.
I love to win people over. I mean, that's what we've been doing our entire career. We're playing songs back that were recorded in 1982, 83, and every song does bring with it a memory.
It wasn't really until we've sort of actually, you know, got back into the momentum of touring, that I personally feel, you know, fully inspired about INXS's future.
It's great. John Stevens is an awesome frontman. But you see the reaction of all of the crowd, and there's a lot of tears and all of this and that. It's a good way of saying thank you and goodbye to Michael for our audience too.
God bless you, Michael.
I'm happy just to be doing this and be here and be alive. Have the opportunity to do this.
For me, with INXS, they'd always be my friends, and two of them were brothers, and we'd always be mates anyway.
A lot of people over the years have asked me in interviews what was my relationship as a writer like with Michael or my friendship with him, but very few people have asked what's it like to work for 25 years with your brothers. It's just been incredible.
The main thing is that we need to continue on, and we'll decide when we want to stop, you know, not have it sort of that decision made for us.
If everything was just so easy, I don't think we'd be half the band we are today.
It's what I figure we know best how to do. You know, we've been doing it for 25 years together.
And I can see this is the beginning of a cycle, and it's going to be about reintroducing INXS to people with John Stevens, and it's going to be about making a new record, and then it's going to be about getting on stage, having some fun, playing for lots of people, and then hopefully, you know, getting some success from that, and then go home feeling like a winner.
Remember, Full Music's on Wednesday from 11:40, kicking off with fat new tunes on Born Sloppy. Next tonight, Brad Pitt's got a beard, a rucksack and a Nazi flag. The British are onto him, even in the Himalayas, in Force Film's 7 Years in Tibet, coming up.